I feel like I just watched 24 hours of the worst Big Brother gameplay since, well, since last season. Because last season had pretty bad gameplay, and we're 3 seasons in a row of just mind melting bad gameplay. I think beyond the bad gameplay, what is killing me about this cast, especially in the last day, is just more than half the cast is either just way too passive in playing the game or does not have any brain in the game, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, where to begin? I mean, Tucker, I talked about this yesterday. I felt like he was playing this with not an ounce of strategy, and I still feel that exact same way. Even if I think the way he played this will still benefit him because he has kept it real and because he is the only, well, one of a few people in that house that isn't passive. That's the best thing going for Tucker, is that he is not passive like the vast majority of the house. He did rally his Sixth Avenue Alliance last night, which he needed to do because the day before he was telling them all different things, not being straight up with them. But last night was a way to try and solidify that alliance with them all together in the HOH room. Kind of having to agree with Tucker's plan to take down Quinn and put up Chelsea. And I think it worked for the most part. Before that meeting, even his strongest soldier, Chemo, was feeling some type of way regarding the way Tucker was not listening to Chemo and Decor. Although Chemo pushing to Tucker to put up MJ was never really going to work. I think Tucker realizes how dumb MJ is, and she's just become a parrot for Brooklyn, although I think MJ is going to be a problem for people going forward, which is good, I guess, because I thought MJ sticking around would be bad for the game. But I think she's so bad at the game that it could cause problems for other people. But so that is what Tucker did today. He took down Quinn, put up Chelsea, kind of exposing the whole collective, the Pentagon, exposing Quinn ratting out the Pentagon, and then Chelsea and Brooklyn exposed that Joseph created the collective, which I think really hurt Joseph's game. I need to just stop saying positive things about Joseph because the 2 times this season I have commended Joseph's game, literally within 24 hours of me saying that, he completely does something that kills his game. He was on the tail end of that flip, which meant he couldn't be it didn't matter. It was going to be a flip anyway. So either way, Joseph was not going to be able to pull off the great floater game he was trying to do. Now this time with him getting exposed even more, he's already pissed off the Chelsea's, Cams, and Brooklyn's. But now he comes across as this leader of the collective because he was so gung-ho about being the leader of a cracked alliance that wasn't ever really real until Cedric tried to make it real on his HOH week. But yeah, I think Joseph, yesterday I thought he was in a good spot. 24 hours later, he's in one of the worst spots, I feel. I think he has a lot of eyes on him going forward. I don't even want to talk about Quinn right now. I've talked about him so much. I think one of my next videos might just be completely on how Quinn's bad gameplay this season has brought down so many other people's games. Quinn's bad gameplay is the root of all evil this season. He is the reason why the gameplay is so bad right now, I honestly feel like. The passive players aside and the people that aren't even playing aside, Quinn's bad gameplay has infected the house on a level I don't know if I've ever seen before. That's how bad Quinn's gameplay has been. I'm not going to sit here and call him the worst ever but he has to be down there with some of the worst. Yeah, we'll save that for another video if I remember to do so, because I don't really know what else I want to talk about this week the next time I get a chance to talk. But yeah, I think Quinn's game really needs to be magnified. How he is the domino effect on the bad gameplay throughout this entire season. With Tucker doing this, like I said earlier, because of all the passive players, I don't see Tucker being in danger these next few weeks like he should be. I had a comment from Dallas, I believe, yesterday about how this was as bad as Devin's HOH. And it is that bad, in my opinion, too. Because just yesterday, he had people eating out of his hands that he tells the truth. And now today, it kind of still fits, though, because he didn't tell his truth. That's my problem, is he didn't tell his truths. But he told everyone else's truths. And it's like a big distraction from Tucker being this big target. So I still think, as bad as this HOH has been, where he could have played it safe and not relied on comps going forward, like I still think he will have to at a certain point. Even after doing all that, because the gameplay is so passive, because there's still 4 people that aren't even really playing, in my opinion, Cam, Rubina, Leah, and MJ. MJ's playing, but it's like she's not. Like, it's like the more information that MJ gets, she is somehow more lost. I don't understand how that's happening, but it is. Like, MJ's not a bad player. She's just dumb. Like, I don't know how the casting for the show really goes out and always tries to find some of the dumbest people, but they succeeded with MJ because there's not a spark up there. I don't know. She found out today about the collective, obviously, even though Leah just told her this a few days ago and she didn't believe it. But somehow MJ has it in her mind that she's like Tucker's number 1. I don't know how this happened. She thinks she's Brooklyn's number 1. She thinks she's Tucker's number 1. She thinks he's at least Chelsea's number 2 or 3. And she's just not any of those things. And I guess that is what's blinding her from seeing things. Earlier, she saw most of 6th Avenue up in Tucker's HOH room and decided to rat that out to Tucker, who, of course, is also in that alliance. You would think, oh, all these people are in Tucker's HOH. That's not weird. Like, that's not where... like, if she suspects that to be an alliance, she can't put it together that maybe the HOH could be in it too, because they're all in Tucker's HOH room. Yeah, I don't know. She also ratted that out to Chelsea, I believe, too. Yeah, I just think MJ, maybe because she's so dumb, or at least I'm hoping, that because she is so dumb, that she will continue to also infect the game like Quinn. That's kind of my only hope, because where things are standing, I think Tucker will be safe going forward because of the passive gameplay. What really surprised me is even Joseph yesterday talking about how he thinks he could go to Final 2 with Tucker and win. Maybe today's events will change his mind on that, but I kind of don't see it happening. I don't know where Joseph thinks he could beat Tucker in a Final 2, because Joseph's done nothing except create the collective, which clearly was a shit show. So that logic is out the window. The only person who truly gives me logic in the house, and Tucker's not one of them, because clearly, Tucker, I want to say that he's unconventional in his gameplay, but I think that's a cop-out. I don't actually think he's this unconventional player with unconventional strategies. I generally think he's just an agent of chaos, and that works for him. I would feel better about his game and maybe respect it more if he wasn't the person who created this big target on his back in the first place and continues to win comps and continue to grow his target. And even in his mindset, he thinks, like, I don't think Tucker realizes how good of a spot he was in yesterday before he created all this chaos, but how good of a spot he's still in despite causing all this chaos. Like, I think that in Tucker's mind, he still thinks all targets are on him and that he's going to have to fight for his life regardless. Even though these moves have kind of made people respect him more and maybe not target him these next few weeks. But that's why I can't give him full credit, because I don't think he actually realizes this. And why I say that the most is because of all the crying he does about jury and how if I'm in jury, I'm going to quit, which really annoys me. That actually pisses me off a lot. Like, you signed up for the game. You got to play out jury if you're in jury. I don't know if that's like a threat to production, because production obviously wants to keep Tucker around. But regardless of the reason, that kind of shit annoys me. But also because he's saying that kind of shit, I feel like he wants to either go soon, pre-jury, or make it as far as possible. But I think he thinks that by doing all this mess, he's just going to have to keep competing. And there's a big chance he could actually go out pre-jury because he's not afraid of this target on his back. He wants all this blood on his hands. Yeah, I don't know. The logic is missing. Maybe it's unconventional gameplay. To me, it's just chaotic, on a whim gameplay. I don't know. The passiveness, though, is what I'm most concerned about for going forward. And I kind of went off track of what I was going to say. The only other person in that house, and maybe the only person in that house, that ever at least falls back on logic and falls back on calmness is Chelsea, who was renommed today. And I think she's doing a good job after being renommed of staying calm, still trying to create relationships going forward. But if Brooklyn takes herself off the block this week, Chelsea could easily be voted out over Cam. I think Chelsea should be voted out over Cam if people are playing. Or I don't know. It's a tough call. My problem is that if Chelsea goes this week, I would be shocked if Tucker's not in Final Three, because Chelsea is the only person in that house that could actually play the game that on a logic level, and maybe at some point try and create something against Tucker. Now, I think Brooklyn in theory would want to do that too. I think she would want to do that the most, but I don't think she can get numbers to do that at this point. I don't know how Brooklyn actually put herself in this predicament, because like I've said many times, she started this game as a coaster. She got into that collective and Pentagon Alliance. And then at some point over the past week and a half, she decided she wanted to take control. And I guess it was the control freak in her. But now, because of that, even though she started this game as a non-entity, she is now seen as like the face of the Pentagon when she was not. It's kind of more of Chelsea's good gameplay there, honestly, where she is not seen as the face of the Pentagon, even though she kind of was. But now Brooklyn is, because of her terrible gameplay. But regardless of that, Chelsea could still go home this week. And I think that's bad for the game overall, unless you're just really gung-ho about Tucker winning the game, which I'm not at this point. His qualities of, it's the ego for me that I don't like. But more importantly, what I don't like is the, I'm going to quit jury if I'm in jury. I'll just leave. Like, it's really childish. So, yeah, I don't want Tucker to win, but I think he, at this point, has one of the best shots to win, only because there's people like Joseph who want to take him to the end even though they shouldn't. there's all these passive players that are not playing or afraid to make moves. You know, all these Chemo and T-Core are getting all this shit from the fandom for reasons that I don't know. Because I mean, I do this every year. I have to get into it with the fandom because I find them to be as dumb, if not dumber, than MJ somehow. There's a large portion of the Big Brother fan base that has MJ's brain, by the way. So, you know, if too many people are trying to say MJ's a bad player, or if some people like MJ, it doesn't surprise me because they have the brain of MJ. But anyway, they're mad at T-Core and Chemo for playing the game when they're the only two people in this game that have made a move without being HOH. The only people that have made moves that helped their own games were Angela in week 1 when she got out Matt, and Tucker this week, even though it's very messy and very chaotic. They're the only two people that have made moves, but they were HOHs. But Chemo and T-Core did all the work last week to actually make a flip and make a move. And I'm getting comments of, oh, T-Core got flipped into a worse spot. Now, she was on the bottom of the collective. Like, somebody was in my comments trying to say she was going to get 4th or 5th place in the collective, and I don't know how that's possible. She was in the Pentagon. There was many conversations within the Pentagon about how Chemo and T-Core were just numbers and how they would be some of the first people out when they get down to 8. So, no, T-Core at best was going to be 7th or 8th in an 8-person alliance. And now, let's just say in theory she's on the bottom of 6th Avenue. She's, either going to get 5th or 6th. So, I'm no mathematician, but that's like a 2 or 3 spot better. If she was 8th at the bottom of the collective, and now she's 5th or 6th on the bottom of 6th Avenue, she at least flipped into 2 to 3 spots better. So let's at least use some logic there. Is she in the best spot? No. But is she in a worse spot than she was? No. And overall, I don't trust any of these alliances. None of them have been real. The 6th Avenue, with Angela in it alone, it's not exactly strong. Angela and Joseph kind of got on the same page last night after the meeting. But just yesterday, Joseph was trying to strategize with Angela. She goes and complains to Tucker later that she doesn't trust Joseph, and that is weird. Like, you can't work too close with Angela, I guess, unless you're Tucker at this point. And I think that's only because Tucker used the veto on her. But you can't work too close with Angela without her getting paranoid about you. So, yeah. The biggest thing that pissed me off today was this conversation between MJ and Rubina, 2 non-entities in the house. I'm so sick of Rubina, Leah, MJ, Cam. They're pointless being in the game. And with tonight airing, tonight was the Love Island USA reunion episode. And it just kind of reminded me how sorry this Big Brother 20 cast really is. Because that Love Island cast is just drama personified. And yeah, we get some dramatic moments this year. But Angela kind of called it at the beginning of the season. It's like a low-budget movie drama. Where that was like big-budget movie drama on Love Island USA. But what made the Love Island USA cast and that season to be the most popular reality show of the year, or the most watched reality show in years, was how great the women cast was on that season. They had each other's backs. They weren't afraid to give to the guys. And then I sit here and I watch Leah, Rubina, MJ. You could even throw in T-Core, who's afraid to speak to people. It's so weak. It's so weak. They're not giving us anything. T-Core gave us a flip at least, which is why I keep defending her, because she's giving us something. But most of the cast is giving us nothing. There's few people, Tucker, Angela, trying to give us drama at times, give us something. But the cast as a whole has annoyed me the past 24 hours. It's the bad gameplay. It's because it's 3 seasons in a row of this. You got 4 people not even trying. Cam doesn't even try and do anything. He said today he's going to try and turn it on soon. But, like, you could be voted out this week, guy. You're on the block. Maybe now's the time to turn it on. You would think, because you're on the block. And then Leah, she's good at getting people to have crushes on her. But she doesn't actually try to use that on a game level. So I don't even know what she's doing. She also annoyed me today when Quinn finally confronted her about Leah playing him. She, of course, played victim. But she's bringing nothing to the game. MJ, like I said, she doesn't have a brain. Rubina might be the biggest non-entity of all. You know, the worst thing you could say about T-Core and Chemo flipping last week is that they flipped for Rubina, who literally gives me nothing. I get nothing from her. So, yeah, that's irritating me. This is going a lot longer than I wanted it to, so I'm going to shut up soon. But, yeah, the 4 people that aren't playing, all this passive gameplay, it's helping Tucker because he is a very aggressive as a player. He's one of the only people playing aggressive other than Angela. But unfortunately for Angela, she's not playing in this game. Angela's playing in an alternate universe, so she's not actually playing hard in this game. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. I think Tucker's unconventional gameplay, I guess that's what I'm going to call it for now, should work for the next few weeks, I think. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I think it only works because there's so many dummies in the cast. But he should be a huge target going forward. But I don't know if he's going to be. We'll see how this all plays out over the next few days. But Tucker should still be in a good spot despite playing very messy as HOH in my opinion. Before I go, I'm going to once again post a trailer for my own competition show, Online Survival 4, based on Survivor, which airs tomorrow night. Please check it out.
Yes, I love Survivor. I love Big Brother. Those are my favorite shows of all time.
So yeah, my strategy coming into the game, just form as many social connections as I can, naturally.
Yeah, I mean, this season I'm definitely going to, bring it. I'm gonna be funny, I'm gonna be laughing, I'm gonna have a good time, but I'm going for the dub. I mean, like when Andy was W, I'm gonna be eating W's. So
I try to always be the leader, but I'm always willing to listen and accept somebody else's opinions or understand that everybody's a little bit different.
I can hide my emotions pretty well, but I could be Jekyll and Hyde.
It's been a minute, but Online Survival is finally back.
Guess this is our team, I don't know.
It's definitely a lot bigger than I expected, that's for sure. Like, everyone had their own little vibe,
They can expect me to be very excited about the next move, the next twist. And right now, if our team is 7, we have the majority right here.
Yeah.
And I feel pretty comfortable with all of you.
My name is Susan, and I'm 61 years old. Well, we could all say we got each other's back if you want to.
Susan is awesome. I love that she's 61 and doing this.
Yeah, hey, bro, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to rep. I'm ready to rep the legends, no cap.
Once you start how to build alliances, the next thing you know, you're like the alliance guy.
It is an all-new cast.
I don't know. I don't even know what I can expect of myself at the moment.
I don't know, Mary, what's your take on this? You've been a little quiet. Mary, very shy and quiet.
And I've seen in a lot of shows like this that the quiet people sometimes are the biggest threat.
1 second, Jason.
No, you're all right. Take your time. He was at the gym, but he was playing basketball. The attention doesn't seem to be there.
I'm here to show people what's possible. I'm here to challenge myself. I'm here to grow.
I was able to go 3 weeks long for almost a month without any food.
In a few weeks, actually, I will be graduating with my master's in psychology.
You can read all of us then.
My minor's in criminal justice, so I also have a lot of experience getting into the mind of other people.
And with this new blood, there will be blood.
Can you be straight up? You got the balls to be straight up with me? I cannot even have that person in my vicinity. I will slap you in the face.
Muggsy could very well spell trouble for a lot of people.
So Susan, you want to do tomorrow?
I'll do it. Yeah.
Who else wants to? Who's like super wanting to do it?
Rita, to me, was me on the other side of the computer. This is somebody I am either going to work phenomenally with, or we're going to be at each other constantly because we were so much alike.
Well, my name is Typhon. People dog on me for this all the time, but I am a big Russell fan.
Typhon, what is it?
Stupid name in my opinion.
There's nothing wrong with Typhon's name, you know? But I think he's just like the person that don't care.
I went into a room for a second and I was like, just caught shit talking, and I was like, oh. Blondes don't like blondes.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm probably gonna be a little bit of a villain this season, but I kind of want to make it where it's like, I mean, like you and I are like the lions.
I might even call this season the season of blindsides.
Wow.
No way. Who did that?
Hyphen and that.
She was calling you that. She was calling you a.
But it's like, why do that?
Of how many heads I'm gonna cut.
You guys are basically showing who you really are right now.
Tune in, sit back, eat your popcorn.